Good morning.
We are glad to see you. My name is Polina Novoselova.
My name is Tolkach. We are students from Economic Faculty of Samara National Research University, group number 7210. Our presentation will last for 12 minutes.
Today we would talk about theory of economic waves and cybernetic revolution. We would be glad to answer any question at the end of our presentation.
At first, we will describe production principles and revolutions. After that, we will speak about the cybernetic revolution, the scientific cybernetic production principle, and Kondrativ waves. And then we will characterize the cybernetic revolution. Now I have a question for you. Do you know that theory of long waves and theory of production revolutions and productive principles have a correlation?
Now let's start. We employ two significant theories. The first theory is theory of long waves, whose founder is Nikolai Kondratiev. The duration of such a wave was an average from 40 to 60 years. We denote these waves as K waves, each consisting of two phases, that is, every phase lasts for 20 to 30 years.
One phase is an upward or take-off phase, A phase, characterized by a generally accelerated growth of certain important indices. The other phase is a downward or slowing down phase, further called a P phase, with an opposite trend. Such an alternation is connected with technological innovations.
Another theory we employ is the theory of production revolutions and productive principles, which is based on the account of considerable technological transformation in the world historical process.
The whole historical process can be most appropriately divided into four large periods on the basis of the change of major developmental stages of world's productive forces, which we call production principles.
We single out four production principles: 1. Hunter-gatherer, 2. Craft-agrarian, 3. Trade-industrial, and 4. Scientific-cybernetic.
Among all various technological and production changes that took place in history, the following three production revolutions had the most comprehensive consequences for society. First is agricultural revolution, second is production revolution, and third is cybernetic revolution. The cycle of each production revolution looks as follows: the initial innovative phase, the modernization phase, the final innovative phase.
Each of production revolutions means the transition to a fundamentally new production system. The beginning of each production revolution marks the borders between corresponding production principles. The principle of production is a six-phase cycle. Its first three stages correspond to three phases of the production revolution. The last three post-revolutionary stages are a period of the maximization of the potential of the new forms of production.
The production revolution, which began in the 1950s, it caused powerful acceleration of scientific and technological progress. The initial phase of the revolution, the 1950s, the 1990s, can be referred to as a scientific informational. The final phase will begin approximately in the 2030s or 2040s and will last until the 2070s. We called this phase a phase of self-regulating systems.
Now we are in the intermediate phase, which will last until the 2030s. It is characterized by powerful improvement and diffusion of innovations made at the initial phase. At the same time, the innovations necessary to start the final phase of the cybernetic revolution are being prepared.
You can see table 2 on the slide. This table demonstrates the connection between three phases of the scientific cybernetic production principle, the cybernetic revolution, and Kondrativ phase. Correlation is strong here due to the shorter duration of the scientific cybernetic production principle phases in comparison with those of the industrial production principle. What are self-regulating systems and why are they so important? Self-regulating systems are systems that can regulate themselves, responding in a pre-programmed and intelligent way to the feedback from the environment. During the final phase of the cybernetic revolution, there will be a lot of self-regulating systems. They will reduce energy and resource consumption. The human life will become organized to a greater extent by such self-regulating systems.
As a result, the opportunity to control various natural, social, and production processes without direct human intervention will increase. The important characteristics and trends of the cybernetic revolution are presented on the slide. We single out the most important characteristics of cybernetic revolution. First, sustainable development of the system of regulation and self-regulation, and resource and energy saving in every sphere.
Certainly, it's almost impossible to predict the concrete cause of innovations. The general vector of breakthrough can be defined as the rapid growth of opportunities for correction or even modification of the human biological nature. We suppose that the leading role of biotechnologies will be, first of all, in their possibility to solve the major medical problems. That's why it makes sense to speak about medicine as the core of a new technological paradigm.
Thus, we suppose the following 1. Medicine will be the first sphere to start the final phase of cybernetic revolution. 2. We treat medicine in a broad sense because it will include a great number of other scientific branches. 3. The medical sphere has unique opportunities to combine technologies into a single system. 4. There are also some demographic and economic reasons why medicine is the core of a new technological paradigm. Increase in average life expectancy and population aging will favor not only the growth of medical opportunities to maintain health, but also allow the extension of working age, as population aging will be accompanied by the lack of working age population.
Human capital is one of the most important drivers of economic development whose contribution to the growth of production and innovations is constantly increasing. Human capital is central to debates about welfare, education, healthcare, and retirement.
The population aging, as well as the change in the population age structure, alongside with forthcoming progress in medicine, innovation technologies, and increasing life expectancy in the developed countries, will also bring great problems associated with the scarcity of labor resources and problems of pension support for the older population. We decided to research how the number of elderly people will change in the near future. Statistics show population by age group for 1950, 2013, 2017, 2019, 2030, and 2050 years. We presented collected data as a graph on the slide.
In process of analysis, we come to the conclusion that the number of the elder population only increases over the years. We see that in 2050, the population aged 60 plus will increase 2 times compared to the current year, and 80 plus 3 times. Let us describe the background. By this time, the problem of population aging will show up to the full. The pension payments will become an urgent problem, and at the same time, the scarcity of labor resources will increase. By this time, the birth rate significantly drop. A huge volume medical services in the world makes about 10% of GDP.
So, the unique condition for the stimulation of business, science, and the state to make a breakthrough in the field of medicine will emerge, and just this unique condition are necessary to start the innovative phase of revolution. So, the final phase of the cybernetic revolution will create various self-regulating systems, will start in medicine,
Will improve the quality of life, particularly of old people and disabled persons, will increase average life expectancy, will lead to the emergence of opportunities to correct and modify human biology itself. However, the final phase of cybernetic revolution will have ambiguous consequences. On the one hand, vigorous growth of production volume will be expected.
On the other hand, due to the diffusion of various self-regulating systems, the number of specialists needed in different spheres will decrease. Let's summarize the information given to you. We found out the correlation between production principles and revolution, K waves. We characterized the cybernetic revolution and did research of population aging. Thank you for your attention, and now we are glad to answer your question.
You may send your questions to our email